right, welcome to another episode of the Thumb Strong podcast. I'm joined as always by Barry and Bethany. How we doing?
Great.
Great. All right. Today we are going to be talking about some popular fitness trends or methods that we're commonly seeing in the industry right now. We want to kind of dive into each one, talk about what we like about each one, who it might be best for, if there's any cons to any of them, and what we kind of recommend based on what we're seeing in the industry. So, first, I want to kind of point out I did some research and I found like the top 5, 6 most popular trends right now or methods. At the top of the list, as far as the most popular growing one, is Pilates. Strength training is number 2. So, strength training is always, up there. Yoga is number 3, or mobility training. Running, cycling, spin, that kind of stuff is number 4. And then CrossFit, boot camp, functional fitness, like Hyrox, that stuff would be number 5. So kind of like the functional or mixed hybrid training, you could call it. So basically, we're going to kind of go around like we did last week and talk about what we think of each one. We also want to talk about like which one could be best for certain types of people, things like that. That way you can leave with a good understanding of what might be the best training method for you. So without further ado,
we'll start off with Pilates since that's number 1.
Okay.
So we have some questions to go through on each, and then we're going to rank based on long-term health score, the beginner-friendly score, and a sustainability score.
Maybe give an overview
of those, first, yeah. So the long-term health score is essentially scale 1 through 10, how valuable this method is for long-term health, aging, strength, mobility, heart health, independence. 2 is beginner-friendly score, how approachable is this for somebody new, overweight, intimidated, deconditioned, older, or coming back after time off. 3 is sustainability score, how realistic is it for the average adult to keep doing this consistently for months and years. So that'll be that. For question 1, what do you like about this method? Pilates is what we're talking about.
Let me go first, or you want to go first?
I'd say body control.
Okay.
Body control is a big one. It's like we were talking about this before, how there's different versions of Pilates. There's the one with the reformer machine and stuff like that. So really body awareness, teaching you how to move each limbs and things like that.
Yep.
So that's probably one of the most important ones for us.
Yeah, to go off that, like there's definitely a lot of core and stability. So it's going to help with like that balance and core strength, stability, which is definitely going to help with independence and long-term health, right? There's a lot of time under tension, so you're kind of building that muscular endurance with that too. So, yeah.
Yeah. What I would say I like is just anecdotal experience from people saying that, they've had injuries and things like that, and it's helped them a lot, whether it's like their back or hips. Usually it's something like that, like a back or hip pain that they've had for a long time or from past injuries, and Pilates like helped to heal that. So I do like that about the method, that it's helping people through those things. Number 2, who is this best for?
I'd say all. It can be challenging for beginners and people who are really into fitness. But also, like you were saying, like the people who are injured as well, like getting into that.
Yeah. I would say I've worked with quite a few, or I've talked to a lot of gym owners from all over the country, and there's a few Pilates studio owners that I talk to regularly, and definitely there's a lot of women and a lot of like 40 plus, 50 plus. So people that want to focus on that core stability and balance and longevity, and maybe it is working around an injury or something like that. So I think it's really good for anybody that's trying to get into a beginner-friendly version of strength training, but also to help with the core and stability, balance, things like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's who it could be best for, I would say. I mean, obviously anybody could do it, but it's definitely best for that demographic of people that are looking for those specific outcomes.
Yeah. And I would say the typical demographics, mostly women, especially for certain Pilates studios. It's a little bit more friendly for women to come and join. You know, if they're a little bit intimidated by the gym, they can at least get a really good foundation and get like a solid workout to get started and get the habit in there while they build that confidence and form and technique and stuff. So like I'd say like, yeah, women beginners that are maybe a little bit more intimidated, they don't have a great gym atmosphere near them.
Right.
Then something like that would be a good option.
Yep.
Next one, what are the biggest limitations or risks? I have one. Biggest limitation is that there's no like intentional loading of the spine that causes like the bone density growth that something like strength training would, or some of the other modalities. So while it has a lot of strengths, that's like one limitation of it, is it doesn't really do a whole lot for your bone density.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't incorporate heavy enough load to, you know, stimulate the strength increase that we're looking for and the bone density increase that we're looking for. Like in order to really get stronger, you have to apply a certain amount of resistance and load and progressive overload with that training. So, I mean, it is great. Like we said, for like core strength and stuff like that, I think it's really good for. But as far as building that overall strength, it's lacking a little bit. Like you're not getting that load that you need.
Yeah.
But
yeah, really hit the nail on the head on that one. I mean, there's nothing much more than that I can think of. It's a lot of body weight stuff. So
yeah, the only other thing that I would say, like for a total beginner, there's a lot of time and retention, at least from what I did. I mean, it's been like 10 years since I tried a Pilates class out.
Yeah.
But like I was 21 years old and worked out all the time. And like when you're holding positions for like upwards of a minute and you like have that lactic acid build up and that burning sensation, like for somebody that's a beginner, it might be pretty difficult to do some of those things for that time retention and that, you know, especially if you're going for like 45 minutes or an hour or something like that. So, I mean, I would say it's beginner friendly, but as long as like, depending on where you're going and who's coaching and how their method is set up, it could be challenging for some people. If you have a good coach that like meets you where you're at and has modifications and stuff, like it should be fine. But if it's like a choreographed Pilates class and you're trying to keep up with everybody else, that's where it can be really challenging for somebody that's brand new. But
yeah. Where do people misunderstand this method?
The biggest misunderstanding is thinking that it's replacing strength training. Yeah.
Or that it's going to build muscle.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you're a complete beginner, sure, it's because you've been doing nothing, so doing something will build muscle, but not to the point of like actual progressive overload strength and resistance training like is. Yeah. Okay. Number 5, how would you use this as part of a well-rounded fitness plan?
I think it would be good as like your active recovery days.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2 days a week, you incorporate a little bit of Pilates more as like, almost more of like an active recovery day. Yeah. Just like, because you're getting a little bit of flexibility, mobility, balance, you know, the core in. I mean, realistically, you could do some sort of core almost every day of the week. So it's not like you're going to be overtraining that or anything. So like I see it more as an additional add on 1 or 2 days a week to a different type of training.
Agreed. Okay.
We'll have to get rolling here, go a little bit quicker.
Okay, all right. Scores for long-term health,
I'd say anyone can do it. I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking for long-term health,
Long-term
at least
health,
like probably an 8 or so.
I would say, I mean,
8
yeah,
to,
with
8 to
the
10.
core and everything, 8 or something.
Beginner friendliness.
Yeah, beginner friendly.
I would say it depends. So I would say it could be like a 6 to an 8.
Yeah,
depending
somewhere
on
in there.
Where
So
you
7.
go,
We'll put it at
where
7.
you go.
what type of class it is.
And then sustainability. I mean, somebody could do it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So let's
It's got high sustainability.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 to
9 to
10.
9 or 10. Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll go faster. Strength training.
All right, strength training.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Something quick. What do we like about this method?
Everything.
It's one of the most important things to do as someone who's in exercise, building that muscle
Mhm.
and for bone density and health.
Nothing compares for bone density and muscle growth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Who is this best for? Anybody.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
everyone.
is good for everybody.
Good
Yes.
for everybody.
Yep.
What are the biggest limitations or risks?
Doing it without learning proper form and technique first, or being uneducated on how to train. So
Mhm.
there's some people that come in and they do the exact same routine 5 days a week. So they're like doing the same muscle groups over and over and over again. Or there's just people that come in here and they lift like way too heavy and they don't have that form and technique or range of motion down yet.
Yeah.
I would say that's the definitely the biggest like risk is just so many people just going to the gym and just kind of winging it based on what they see offline or something, without actually learning how to properly do everything or taking the time to just drop the ego and lift light until you get everything down.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Agreed.
I'd say going too fast when you're doing the movement. A lot of it of learning is going nice and slow and controlled, and then eventually, if the movement needs to be faster, go faster. But
where do people misunderstand this method?
Well, some people misunderstand the method. I would say for females, they think that strength training is going to make them really big and bulky, and they don't want to be a bodybuilder. How often do we hear like I don't want to be a bodybuilder?
Big, yeah.
That's completely false. Obviously, some people that are built a little bit different can build muscle faster, but you'd have to do a lot of training to like actually be like a bodybuilder type of physique. That's a big misunderstanding. The other thing that I would kind of add is like people think that non-resistance training workouts are resistance training. For example, like we talk about all the time, like people think that doing yard work and doing chores around the house and stuff like that is enough to replace strength training, or like they're getting their strength training in because they're out doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's also a big misunderstanding too. So.
I would say that people have to think that they need to lift all the weight in the gym. They need to lift heavy all the time.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a 4-week.
And vice versa. So there's a lot of people that like they don't want to lift too heavy to get injured.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they go really light and they do a ton of reps. That's another common one.
Yes.
For sure.
How would you use this as part of a well-rounded fitness plan?
So this should be like the staple to the plan, I think. So we always talk about it for like the average person that just wants to be fit and healthy, strong, maintain their independence and longevity. 2 to 3 days a week, full body. If you do want to get more serious and you like the way you feel, maybe you have a bigger goal of like some kind of a competition or a race, or you're going hiking, you got trips planned, maybe you're doing that kind of stuff. 4 to 5 days a week is kind of another good staple. So it should be the staple to your plan.
You should build everything around it.
Everything. The strength training is the base of what our training should be built around.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Score for long-term health. I'd put it at 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 9.
I was gonna say
9 to 10.
Yeah. Well, there's limitations on it, of like certain things that just doesn't train.
Nothing can really probably be a 10.
Nothing can be a 10 for long-term health because you need, Anywho, beginner friendliness.
You can start wherever.
Yeah.
and there's different movements.
I mean, kind of similar to like what I said for the Pilates. It's a range.
Yeah.
I would say it's like a 7 to a 10 or 7 to a 9, because if you don't get any help and stuff and you come in and do it wrong, you might, like, I injured myself doing it wrong when I was 18 because I just didn't know any better, and I was ego lifting. So, but then we have people that, like, if they actually get the education or like the training and then they start out at the right pace, that could be it's very beginner friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it definitely matters on how you're starting. But,
sustainability.
I mean,
pretty well 10 out of 10.
Dang, yeah, this 9, 10.
9 out of 10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. This next one's yoga.
Yoga.
All right. So, what do we like about this method?
Helps improve mobility and flexibility for sure. Stretching is really great, especially after strength training and any exercises.
Yep.
So that's probably the top one.
I'll go kind of a little bit different on this one. I would say one of the biggest benefits that people do yoga for is the mental benefit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the meditation, the stress relief. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
So there's definitely that benefit as well, along with what Barry said.
Yeah. Who is this best for? People that need that stress relief.
People that need a stress relief, and people that have injuries or
poor mobility.
Lack of flexibility, right? That's what's definitely going to be best for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are the biggest limitations or risks?
Getting into the movements. There are some tough positions to get into. And so for somebody that's, if they've never done anything before, if they're really immobile, maybe if they're 60 plus, 70 plus, like they might not be able to do a lot of those positions.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, there is lower levels that you can do. There's chair yoga. And so it's very open to all, especially just looking into it.
Yeah, you just gotta modify. So it's basically like, as long as you know where to start, it's good. Yep.
Where do people misunderstand this method?
Kind of again with the Pilates, like some of the things that you're doing in yoga, people would consider strength, like they're building strength. So you're definitely gonna be missing out on the muscle development as far as building muscle and strength, and that really has to kind of go along with the flexibility and mobility, right?
Yeah, agreed. How would you use this as part of a well-rounded fitness plan? Same with the Pilates.
Again, it's an active recovery.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to do at least once or twice a week to maintain that mobility and flexibility. But even with this, like, I don't think, to be completely honest, I don't think it's 100% necessary for a lot of people. Like, you could, as long as you had a good mobility protocol built into your training. So like we used to just do like Go WOD or ROM WOD before and after our sessions, to where we had a mobility guide. As long as you're doing a proper warm up and then the cool down, the flexibility, like the mobility training, like you don't necessarily have to do a yoga session. So I wouldn't say it's 100% necessary, but it is great. Definitely important to do mobility.
Active recovery type of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. For long-term health, what score? You give it like a 7.
It's high. Yeah, I mean, it's not. You're not getting the strength training or like the bone density, but cardio. Like a 7. Yeah, 8.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
Beginner friendly. Chair yoga is pretty beginner friendly. So I would say
kind of a range again, like 7 to 9 or something like that, like the strength training.
Sustainability. Also very sustainable.
Probably very sustainable.
9.
8 or 9, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Now we got
running / cycling.
Yeah, cardio training.
Cardio, just group together.
Basically cardio, running and spin, that stuff like that.
Yeah. So what do you like about this method?
Well, we definitely need it for cardiorespiratory health, cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina.
It's the one thing that the other ones don't really hit.
Right. Yeah, you're not really getting that. The cardiovascular endurance,
exactly.
Cardiorespiratory health.
Yeah.
It's cheap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Cheap, easy to start. You just need your body usually, unless you're doing cycling. But yeah, for just running or walking.
Yeah.
Who is this best for?
This is also good for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs to do some form of cardio multiple days a week. So it's good for everybody.
Mm-hmm. What are the biggest limitations or risks? I would say injury.
I would say, you said injury?
Yeah. Like an overuse injury for somebody's running and they go out basically doing too much too fast.
Yeah. Or, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Where do people misunderstand this method?
They also think that it's enough. So like they're running all the time, so they're working their legs a lot, so they must have really strong legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people that are just running or walking, they're still not getting that stimulus that we need with the load for bone density and muscular strength and keeping our muscle long term.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all the running and walking you want, but if you're not pairing it with strength training and like getting enough protein and stuff, you're still going to progress, lose muscle over time, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How would you use this as part of a well-rounded fitness plan?
I think it would be
Couple
second
different ways.
to strength, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
So we use it in a few different, like currently I'm running 2 to 3 days a week, and 3 days a week we do metabolic conditioning.
Yeah.
Which is another form of cardio. It's just higher intensity.
Yeah. That'd be more in like the Hyrox.
Yeah, that'd be more in the functional.
Yeah.
I also love it for the aspect of getting outside, getting the stress relief, the mental benefit of running. There's something about running even over like metcons and lifting and stuff, especially when you do it outside in nature. There's just something about it to where you feel super accomplished, super happy. Like the endorphins are real.
Oh yeah.
Runner's high, whatever you want to call it. Like that is a real thing. So I definitely like how it fits in there. Obviously there's going to be some people that can't physically run all the time.
Right.
So that's where you could literally walk every single day for whether it's 10 minutes or mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, like getting in some walking, steady state cardio. The goal is to get your heart rate into a certain zone, zone 2 realistically, for like the cardio benefit. But yeah, that's what I think about it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. What would we score it for long-term health?
Super high.
Super high?
9.
Yeah, it's 8 or 9.
I mean, long-term health has aging, strength, mobility, heart health, and independence.
So there's no strength.
So there's no strength. Aging, it's kind of rough on the knees. Yeah. Mobility, no mobility. So
running
I would say it's a 7.
specifically, yeah. Okay, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or even cycling. You put cycling in there, it's like, I'd say it's a 7 because it hits a lot of good stuff, but not all the things.
Right.
How about beginner friendly?
So this can be a little trickier too.
Yeah.
So I would actually say that this is like a 5 or 6 because a lot of people can't just take off, start running. Like you got to walk for,
feel good.
I mean, we have so many people with like back issues, knee issues, hip issues, ankle issues. So to just like start a running program is very difficult for a lot of people. Spin, it's extremely hard to start.
Yeah.
If it's a choreographed class, again, like if you're trying to keep up with everybody in class and the instructor, it's very hard to modify. I mean, you can easily modify it, but like mentally, it's hard to get yourself to just tone it back. When you're in a class and the energy,
everyone's going hard,
and the beats per minute of the music is 120, and you're like,
you
know, like I've done spin twice, and my legs blow up, and I can hardly walk. Like I can't imagine for somebody that's new. And we actually had somebody get rhabdo from a spin class.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And ended up in the hospital. So like, it's hard to start. And people, it's kind of funny because a lot of people think spin is like the beginner friendly choice over like a boot camp. And it's definitely, I would say it's other way around. I would build a really good base before I would try to.
Yeah.
for most people.
Sustainability. I say between like a 6 and an 8.
Yeah.
You can do it for a while, but after
Yeah.
a certain point, you might get kind
That's
of
the
worn
other
down.
thing. So the running is kind of addictive. Like I can see how it's addictive, and then people like run more and more and more and more and more, and there is a point to where too much can lead to those knee issues and hip issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so you definitely got to find balance between the amount you're doing and the recovery that you have. And if you're doing strength training, and then you got to add in the mobility work, all that stuff's got to be kind of tied in.
Right. All right. We've got very little time left, but we're going to go through CrossFit Hyrox boot camp style functional fitness training real fast here. What do we like about this method?
It kind of combines everything. You're getting the conditioning, you're getting the strength, body weight, you know, the cardio. So that's what I like about it. Is it makes it more fun, different, challenging, and you're hitting multiple modalities.
Yep. All in one package.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this best for?
I would say, okay, it is good for everyone, I would say, but athletes in specific, very good for athletes, especially young athletes trying to get more body control, be more well-rounded, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Athletes and people in their 20s, 30s, 40s.
They want to push it.
Definitely good. This is a great way to like build an extremely good base. If you think long-term investment, build an awesome base of strength, cardio, mobility, all that stuff. And that way, when you hit 50, 60, like you've got this solid base. And then maybe you're not competing at like the level you were, or doing all the stuff that you were, but you've got a great base to start with. So.
For sure. Biggest limitations are risks. Skill.
Yeah, skill and some hard movements that you got to try to do.
Where do people misunderstand this method? They see all the crazy stuff and they think that that's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But there's levels to it.
Yeah. They see the CrossFit Games and they're like, oh, yeah, I can't do that.
Yep. Yeah. How would you use this as part of a well-rounded fitness plan? Well, it is a pretty well-rounded fitness plan.
Yeah.
So, 2 to 3 days a week.
Essentially, functional fitness is what our boot camp and fit camp is built.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the strength training, we've got the accessory work, we've got the Metcon, we've got the core, we stretch before and after. So that's why we do it. I would say it's really good for people that are like short on time. They need to get in and out. They have 2 to 3 days a week they can commit to. Full body, covers everything. You're getting your cardio, your strength. So,
Long-term health. 10? 9 or 10?
I'd go 9.
Yeah, 9.
9. Beginner friendliness.
Very
a little lower. 6 or 8, something like that.
You can scale back the movements, but
it's for as far as how we coach it, it's extremely easy.
That's true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it kind of depends. I would say it's like a 7 to a 9. Like I would say it's a 9 out of 10 for us because it's not choreographed, which means it's more like a personal training session. Mm-hmm. So if Barry came in, he's never trained before, and Bethany is an expert, I can have Barry do modified versions of what Bethany's doing, and they can still do the same workout together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which I love. That's what I love about it. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sustainability. Very high.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing
depends the intensity.
More of the functional fitness from boot camp side, it's definitely high.
CrossFit,
like 8, 9. CrossFit, I would say, is definitely lower.
Yeah. As far as because of competitive CrossFit.
Yeah, just because of the gymnastics and the Olympic lifting for people. Yeah. I think.
Cool.
Yeah. And Hyrox is kind of in there with the strength and conditioning. It's kind of in the same realm as the other two.
Sweet.
So.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, overall, you don't just need one, you need a little mix of everything.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, and the analogy I was talking to you guys about, like, you can't just, like when it comes to nutrition, for example, it's not like you can just say, I'm just going to eat all protein 24/7, or I'm just going to eat all carbs all the time, or I'm just going to eat all vegetables all the time. It's like, you kind of have to get your carbs, your fruits, your veggies, your fats, your protein. So think about like strength training, like your protein. That's where we're going to build the muscle, build the strength, build the bone density. Think about like a cardio, like your carbohydrates. That's what's going to give you that fuel, that endurance. And then think about the fat, healthy fats, like your yoga, Pilates. That's what's going to help with your mobility, your flexibility, balance, stuff like that, right? So you kind of have to incorporate a little bit of everything. So like we said, strength training should be the backbone, building that muscle and that strength, that bone density, cardio to support our health and endurance. You've got the mobility and balance work so that you can maintain function and independence, stuff like that. Biggest thing is just a consistent, like find a plan that works for you and stay consistent with it. So obviously it would be tough to like work out 5 days a week, do cardio 5 days a week, and do yoga or Pilates 2 days a week. But you might be able to, strength train 3 days a week, do 1 day of Pilates or yoga, and then maybe you walk a couple days a week, right? So find that plan that works for you, but incorporate a little bit of everything. So, yeah. Great. Hopefully this was helpful. We got to wrap this up. We got some sessions starting. So until next time, stay healthy. If you need any help, get a hold of us. We'd be happy to sit down with you and get you started.